Hello lettering friend, I'm Sarah from Ensign Insights. I've collected a lot of Archer and Olive journals and pens, and I'm finally going to review them and unbox my haul. Before getting into it, I want to thank Archer and Olive for sponsoring this video. Here's what happened. In the summer of 2020, I saw that Archer and Olive was launching these new pens called Acrylograph. You know I love trying and reviewing new pens, so I bought them right away. I had never tried an Archer and Olive journal before, so I decided to add one to my cart. I'm not a bullet journaler, so I honestly didn't know how I was going to use it. I just thought I might as well try it. When I received them, I recorded these videos testing out the Acrylograph markers because I wanted to make a review video. You may notice it's 2022 right now, so why did it take me so long? Well, in the fall of 2020, we were evacuated because of a fire. And then I published a book, and then we moved, and then I went through the worst burnout of my life. In 2021, when my burnout increased, I was struggling to make it through each day, and I started a hand lettering journal. At first, I wasn't going to share it with anyone, but then it healed me in ways that I didn't even know I needed, and I really wanted to share that with others. I started using my 2020 Archer and Olive journal for my hand lettering, and I realized there's a reason Archer and Olive has such a high reputation. They're so beautiful, and the paper is thick. Because my hand lettering journal is now a huge part of my life, I decided it was time to invest in a few more journals. So during the Black Friday sale in 2021, I bought a few more journals and the new Calliograph pens. Shortly after that, Archer and Olive reached out to me about partnering on a video, and I took that as a sign that I was moving in the right direction. So Archer and Olive sent me a few more journals to review and the metallic acrylograph pens. Even though I originally felt bad that I didn't have a review video for you in 2020 when I first bought the pens, this review video is much better than that one would have been. I have so much more experience with them, and I can show you how I actually use them. Let me share with you why I love these journals and pens so you can see if they might be a good fit for you. First, let's talk about the journals. So I have 5 Archer and Olive journals total, and I was really intentional about the ones that I chose. My first one has the signature Archer and Olive florals that are beautiful. Then I got a rainbow journal, of course. This one is holographic, and the paper is black. I'm so excited about all the possibilities this opens up. And then this one is an A6 size because I generally like smaller lettering, so I wanted to see how I would like a smaller size of journal. I love the hand holding the sun and moon and stars. It's so beautiful. And then I got another in the A5 size with white pages. I love this door design and the color of this journal. And finally, I wanted to try a square journal. This one is 8x8. I love this mustard yellow color with the sun, and I'm really excited to see how my lettering designs change in a square. In my A5 journal, sometimes I like to do wide designs, so I have to turn my journal to the side, but I wouldn't have to do that in a square. The paper is so thick that even with layered acrylic paint, there is no bleeding or ghosting. The weight is 160 GSM, which is really good, especially for a notebook. I just love that I can do elaborate designs on each page without worrying about ghosting or bleeding. Next, let's talk about the pens, starting with Acrylograph. We'll get to the Calliograph in a minute. When I first bought the Acrylograph pens, there was only 3 color sets to choose from. Now there are lots of color sets, so that's really awesome. The tropical colors are still my favorite. I got the primary colors in the 3mm tip, and that's nice for when you're coloring in a big area, but honestly, I mostly use the 0.7mm tip, and that's what I have in the tropical colors. I like to do faux calligraphy with them. They write really smoothly. I really love this tip. They look great on white paper and black paper. Let me show you opening up these metallic acrylographs. So in the packaging, you can mix the colors right on the box, And I've seen people who really like doing that, blending the colors together. I've never done that myself. I like the colors as they are, so I haven't felt the need to do that. And to start using these pens, all you do is press the tip down, shake it, and that'll get the ink flowing, and then you're good to go. I'm so excited about these metallic acrylograph markers for my black journal. They look great on white paper or black paper. And this white acrylograph pen has been my go-to white pen for small details. It works better than a gel pen because it's actual paint and it goes on smoother than gel pens. For this piece, I used the white acrylograph and I learned a few really helpful things that I'm going to share with you. First of all, they layer on top of each other really well. So I used my black acrylograph to color most of this, but there were a few tiny details that I went in with the regular black fine liner. When I went over that section with my white, the ink underneath started blending with the white. I didn't realize actually how important it is to have pens that will be able to layer on top of each other. Also, I really like that these pens come with multiple tips as backups. Because this piece took me such a long time, after like an hour with the pen open, the paint in the tip was drying and getting stuck, even though there was plenty of paint in the pen barrel. So I simply removed the tip and replaced it with a new one. And with the old one, I placed it in a cup with water overnight and cleaned it out so I can use it the next time I need to switch it out. This little trick is a great way to make them last even longer. Now let's take a look at the Calliograph pens. I got these in the tropical colors, and once again, those are my favorite. I have a pretty high standard when it comes to brush pens, but I was pleasantly surprised with these. They have a dual tip with a large brush tip and a small brush tip. I always love dual tip pens. It's just so efficient. The small tip is really nice. It can definitely go in my list of favorite small brush pens. I'll probably use the small side more than the large side. The large side is a softer tip, which you might like if you're light-handed. I'm heavy-handed, so that's why I prefer a firm brush pen like the small tip side. I do think it's a great option if you don't know yet whether you like small or large lettering. You can try both in one pen. And I'm really picky about the colors that I use. I really like all of these colors because it's that tropical set that I love so much, except the orange here feels a little dark for my personal palette, but that is a personal preference and it's not that big of a deal. To wrap this all up, Calliograph pens are great for small and large brush pens. Acrylograph pens are great if you want some awesome paint pens with a fine tip. And as for the journals, here are 5 things that I like about the journals. Number 1, the paper is really white as opposed to off-white or yellow, and this helps with photographing. Number 2, there's no bleeding or ghosting. This one is huge. You can even use a little watercolor. It won't have the same texture as watercolor paper, of course, but I can't believe the paper is thick enough for that. And I believe Archer and Olive just released some watercolor, which is way cool. I'll have to try that in the future. I will say you do want to be careful when using oil-based markers. I don't have many oil-based markers, so it's not that big of a deal, but that's been the only ghosting that I've noticed. Number 3, it's smooth enough for brush pens. You know this is so important. When I started hand lettering, I was using whatever random notebook that I had, and my brush pens frayed so fast. But I have no problem using my brush pens on this paper. Number 4, the journal opens flat. It's been really easy to make a full 2-page spread because I can easily draw into the very center. And number 5, it feels fancy. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but the journal covers are so beautiful and I really love the little charm on the ribbon. It makes me feel fancy when I use it. Like I am this amazing artist with this beautiful notebook. Also, I feel really good about supporting Archer and Olive. They're a small business and I've followed them on Instagram for years, even before my first purchase. I hope this detailed review helped you decide if these are right for you. I have an affiliate code I'll leave in the description so you can get a discount if you do decide to get something from Archer and Olive. I'd love to know which pens you'd like to try, or if you have Archer and Olive journals, what kind do you have? Let me know. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time.